everybody.
Hey, fam.
Happy April.
It's almost, it is springtime. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Spring has sprung.
What happened?
I know.
I feel like
It was Christmas yesterday.
we just were talking about New Year's and we were over in that vape space. You guys remember that? Now, I hope you've gotten a chance to come in and play with us in the new space. Thank you for all of your grace as we made those changes. It's been really cool, and it's just going to keep getting better. We got some new hours in April, so opening up a little bit. I mean, I'm on Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'm in Tuesday, Thursday, and then Friday morning.
Yes, people have been happy about
Fridays
that.
are fun.
Yeah.
Come see us on Fridays.
Yeah, and we've got some upcoming events, some spring fling and summer fun events in the works. And then big idea is the last weekend in April, so mark your calendar for July 29th. You'll be hearing about that soon. And we're in final discussions with Thur Dr, which is going to give us even more flexibility in the office. It's exciting.
It's super exciting. Yeah, I mean, we just want we make these decisions with you guys at the forefront of our hearts, and just want to make sure that your experience at the Lighthouse is unparalleled. So we really feel like that's going to be a huge win for our community.
Yeah, and I mean, it's again, I come back to saying thank you to you for your grace of raising, 5 kids and 5 kids, and then showing up for all of you. We don't ever want the bar to drop in the way that we can show up for you. And so we're really excited to introduce you to this doctor and have an open house where you can come connect with him. And yeah, we just wanted to each month take a minute to talk about a few of the hot topics, because chances are if one person has a question, lots do. And at the forefront, we've had a lot of pregnant moms that are now having babies. And so one of the hot questions has been, why does a baby get adjusted? When is it safe for a baby to get adjusted? What's your response to that?
Yeah, so I always tell moms that, Dr. Devin is my children's chiropractor. So she usually checks my kids within hours, if not sooner, of being born. So I love to tell moms when you feel like you're ready, because one thing we really want to honor is just that time that you are bonding with your new baby and that your family is getting acclimated. So, we love to see them as soon as possible when you feel ready.
Yeah, and picture, just close your eyes for a second, right, and go into your fetal position and imagine being cooped up inside of your mother's womb, and you're growing and expanding, and then you come through the birth canal. And guys, can you imagine what these little critters go through in development, and then in that process of, oh my gosh, and the physical and the emotional, and then this acclimation to this big crazy world. And so when people ask when do they get adjusted, again, it's when mom feels up to it, and it's kind of circumstantial of how did your birth go? How are you and baby? How is latch with 100%. With breastfeeding? How no one knows your baby like you do. You grew this human. And if you're looking at this baby and you see stress, or you see you can feel it, there's that 4th trimester connection that's very real. So when you feel up to it, and how did things go? And these little babies, then you go into why does a baby need adjusted? Why do kids need adjusted? What's your...
Yeah, I mean, just like you just said, I mean, the position in utero, birth trauma, even the most amazing, perfect births can still come with the need for spinal checks, so that baby's nervous system is balanced, that they're acclimating, that they're well adjusted. So I like to encourage folks to get checked, mainly because we see breastfeeding relationships. If there's any trouble with latch, we can help with that. Yeah. And it's so, time is of the essence, because, if mama's milk if you're struggling or whatever, then you might, give up on that breastfeeding relationship, and we can help with that. So, that's one thing that I really like to stress, but then also just digestion and, immune system, all of it.
You will, I'll add a little link to the picture of the nervous system, because it's so simple that it gets difficult to describe sometimes. But for me, you see that connection between brain and body. The nervous system does it all. And so if there is areas where there is resistance or interference in the way that the brain and body are connecting, that's our jam,
Yeah.
right? That's what we do. We look at where is there a lack of light in this system? What is the tiny, gentle adjustment that needs done to remove that interference to restore power in the body? And we get really passionate about, for me, my firstborn's birth was forceps, over medication of my epidural. I couldn't feel the lower half of my body. There was a lot of emotional stress. There was a lot of physical stress. They had to use those forceps to get him out. He turned blue. And then he was colicky for months. And the pediatrician, bless him, like, that's not their specialty. And so you got a fussy one, Mom. And again, like, I knew, no, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And when you look at the effects on the vagus nerve for these little ones, it affects everything. And so where I think traditionally we're raised to look at, like, what's wrong? What are the symptoms? Yes, we help with all of those things, but it's because foundationally, like, this baby's perfect. And if things aren't thriving, there's a reason. And so for us, it's that, adjustment helps go back to the root cause of where there's interference. So, I had a little guy come in. He's been coming in to get adjusted since he was, that's going to, like, age me here in practice, probably almost 9 years. And he was like, what's the deal with the light bulb, right? Like, why do you have a light bulb? He's 10 or 11 now. And he says, such a good question. But for us, subluxation means a lack of light. And so what chiropractors do is they find the subluxations in your spine. We look and go, where is there a lack of light? And when we make the adjustment, your body cranks up the light. And he was like, that's awesome. And I was like, man, if kids get that, right? Like, you're wearing a shirt that says you are magic. Like, the best is yet to, if we can raise a generation of children that believe in the power in their body, then my life will have meant something. Then I will have served, my mission. And that's why we're so passionate about babies, kids, pregnant moms, because there's no better time to start them on that journey physically and support-wise, but also mentally and emotionally, that they're trusting their systems.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got spring sports physical stuff coming up, so you guys can give us a shout. I know it turns over, I think, in May, so be on the lookout, because we're going to work. One of our favorite things to do is to support you guys in that and get some of those funds donated back into the school. So we'll have some updates coming on that in May. Another hot topic in the office is allergies. Let's talk about allergies. It's dry, it's windy. Mother Nature gave us 80 degrees yesterday, and it's, 20 today. And so sinus, allergy, what's your response? Doc, my allergies.
Yeah, that right there. She, it was like, honestly, like a light bulb went off when she said this to me. For years, allergies was one of my chiropractic testimonies. I was going to school at Fort Hays. My allergies were a lot worse up there. I was seeing a specialist, getting ready to go, do the things, the shots, the medication. You don't have to take Claritin and Benadryl every day. Let me just tell you that. No, you guys, that's common. It's not normal. You do not have to do that. I started getting adjusted regularly. My allergies, I'm going to get to that in just a second, have not been the same. I don't get near as bad. I would develop this horrible cough. It would last for weeks. Do I still have the sniffles and a little bit of congestion from time to time? Yes, but it's not near as bad as it was. And one thing that Dr. Devin revealed to me was we have to detach ourselves from these things like allergies and stop saying my allergies, because then they're a part of us and we associate ourselves with them. And in order for us to actually, make a change and get rid of that, we've got to stop referring them to my allergies. It's hard. I still do it from time to time.
It is. And, like my headaches, my sciatica, my allergies, my sinuses, and that ownership, if you've read the 4 agreements, if you've read anything in understanding, there's a neuroscience to that. If you believe that you are unwell, then you will have that physical manifestation. And so I always invite people and just say, like, the ragweed pollen, right? Like there's a chiropractic video that talks about this. We're all exposed to the same thing, but not everybody's experiencing symptoms. Why is that? We all have a cup that all of the stressors in our life have to go into. Thoughts, traumas, toxins, physical, chemical, emotional. Life is stress. We're human, so it's there all the time. When our cup is full, you're going to be more likely to experience an immune overreaction because your body cannot take the stress.
Yep.
So yes, I have, people, what do you take for this? What do you do for that? And I make homeopathic recommendations, and I do like Allergena. Dr. King's makes some great allergy by region. I love, vitamin C and colloidal silver and elderberry, and I could give you that. But you know what that is? That is outside in. Mm-hmm. And so if you come in and I say, here, you know what? Take this for your allergies. I keep you in a sick loop. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to do that. So I would invite you to take a look at, how are you sleeping? Are you getting enough water? What kind of foods are you eating? Where can you limit any emotional stress? Because we have to take responsibility for that cup, and we have to start dumping some of that stuff out, making better choices. And then you don't get sick as often. You don't express these symptoms as often because your system can adapt better. Mm-hmm. And it's a totally different way of looking at health, but it's made all the difference in the world for me, because the way we were raised, similar. Here, take this, right? Mm-hmm. And Benadryl I can't take that stuff. Man, you want to see a zombie, y'all, watch me on Benadryl. So I was always overly sensitive. And then in practice, I'm hearing people say, well, I take Zyrtec every day. Mm-hmm. I give my child Miralax every day. Mm-hmm. Guys, we're not lacking Claritin and Allegra. And if you look at the side effects, they cause pain. You trade one problem for another. If your body's talking to you, how can you support it? But also, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And so, yes, it's not fun. Mm-hmm. But look at air purifiers. Get lots of water, and we're talking about doing an open house when we have a welcome this new doctor, and maybe this is one of those topics that we could dive a little deeper into. So if you do have questions, please ask, because we're here for you. And the last thing that we wanted to just share with that is all the things that moms are holding. When you talk about a cup and it being full and kids expressing different allergies, symptoms, we got school, we got the world, and moms just got a lot on their shoulders. Mm-hmm. And so I know we wanted to send a little shout out to.
Yeah, mainly just want to tell you that you are doing a great job. And it's not always easy, and that's okay. And you don't have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And we love you, and we're here for you. Yeah. I just want our moms in our community especially to know that we love you. You're doing great.
Yeah, there's just a shame game, more internal than it probably would ever be external, in this bar that we kind of hold ourselves to. And we went through these discussions when Jess, I think the cat's out of the bag now, so we can say, she's having her third child, and just announced that it's another little girl, and she kept bumping up against this identity of I want to be in the office, but I want to be home. Mm-hmm. And I've wrestled with that, with having kids at home for homeschool. I know you wrestle with it. We are mothers, and it is who we are, but it's not all of who we are. And so we have to, there is this time of seasons where you have to, be honest about where you're at, and we can have it all, but we can't have it all right now. Mm-hmm. Right. So you got to, just give yourself some grace every day. And if you're doing your best, sis, that's all you can do. Yep. Right. So, and I say it to you because I have to say it to myself every single day. Mm-hmm. But we cannot give to them, to ourselves, or anyone else, if we're constantly just assaulting ourselves inside with that. So, we wanted to lighten the mother load a little bit there of, you're doing great, and it's almost Mother's Day, and it's spring, the sunshine's coming. Yeah. We got a lot more. If you do have questions, send them to us. We want to start doing this more regularly. Definitely as the other doc comes on too, of we're just seeing different waves of, people asking the same thing. So hope that talking about kids, talking about allergies, and shout out to our mama bears gives you a little lift and light today, but we love you. And you call us if you need us. We got your back.
Bye, guys.